Hello students, welcome to the session. Our topic for today is safety and first aid. In this chapter, we will understand safety rules and first aid in detail. Let us quickly understand some safety rules we all know, like using zebra crossing while crossing the road. Do not get in or out of the bus when bus is moving. Do not lean out of the moving bus. Do not touch electrical wires. Always stand in a queue at the bus stop and avoid using blades or sharp things. It will harm you. Let us start the chapter. First comes up safety. Accidents occur anytime, anywhere due to the carelessness. Children often get hurt in playground, home, etc. So let us understand safety on the road. Safety on the road is very important as vehicles are increasing day by day. Being careless on road lead to major accidents. We must follow some safety rules on the road. There are some signs we all can see on the road. For example, one-way sign. Let us closely look. One-way sign. This is a one-way sign. This is no U-turn, no horn and zebra crossing. All these are known as road signs. So we must follow safety rules and roadside while using roads. Let us go forward and understand safety from fire. Fire spreads very fast and causes major loss of life and property. To keep ourselves safe from fire, we must know some causes and precautions of fire. Some causes of fire are electrical faults, unsafe use of items like matchsticks, candles, kerosene, etc., gas leakage in the kitchen while cooking. So what are the precautions we should keep in mind for prevention of fire? Handle the matchsticks, candles, crackers, etc. very carefully. Keep petrol and kerosene oil in the airtight container. Avoid wearing synthetic clothes while working in the kitchen because they catches fire very easily. Never forget to switch off the gas cylinder after use. Electrical wiring should be checked regularly. Next comes up putting out fire. Let's see what can be done and how we can put out fire through several ways. Fire extinguishers are devices to put out fires. You must have seen fire extinguishers. Let's see it here. Fire extinguishers are devices to put out fires. Fire extinguishers have carbon dioxide gas in the form of gas or foam. What does it do? The gas or foam surrounds the fire and cuts the air supply to it. So it helps in reducing fire or cutting off the fire. Next comes a fire which is caused by petrol can be extinguished by throwing sand or mud over it. Next comes up for electrical fires. Immediately switch off the main light. Throw the sand on fire. Don't throw water on a fire caused due to electrical appliances because water is a good conductor of heat and electricity. In case of big fire, call the fire brigade. The number for fire brigade is 101. Always remember the emergency numbers. What is the number of fire brigade? 101. First aid is an immediate help provided to a sick or injured person before taking them to the hospital for treatment or diagnosis. Mostly times, first aid helps to save the life of an injured or sick person. But always understand first aid is for minor wounds, nose bleeding, fatigue, playing a game, running in school and having a fracture or injury or minor burns. It is not an alternative for a medical treatment. After giving first aid, a person should consult to the doctor. Let us understand some kind of first aids given to different kind of injuries. Let us understand sprain. Sprain is the twisting and swelling up of joints, such as ankle twisted and swell up due to the bad fall. The tissues around the twisted joints are damaged, which causes pain. Let us understand some first aid rules for it. Apply a cold ice pack on the affected area. Apply the ointment on the sprained joint 2 or 3 times a day. Wrap the crepe bandage around the sprained joint. Next comes a fracture. A crack or break in joint is called as fracture. The fractured bone causes a lot of pain. The affected area may swell up and you will not be able to move. What first aid can be done in case of fracture? Do not allow the person to move. Make the patient calm and comfortable. Tie a splint given a support to the broken bone. For example, if the fractured leg, you can give the support through a sling. It gives support to the arm and prevents its movement. An X-ray of the fractured person shows the extent of injury. The doctor decides the course of treatment in case of fracture. Next comes a burn. When he or she comes in contact with hot objects like steam, gas, firecrackers, etc., it may causes burn. Sometimes chemical substances also causes burn. In case of minor burn, the skin develops a reddish color. What first aid can be done? Wash the affected area with cold water. After that, apply burn oil and place a clean cloth over the affected area to prevent infection. In case of serve burns, the blisters must never be pricked with a pin or any sharp object. It may lead to infection. Instead, a wet compress of cloth dipped in a solution of baking soda can be applied on the burnt area. Take the victim to the doctor immediately after the first aid. If the chemical burn, the burn area must be washed properly to remove the chemical from the body. Next comes up minor cuts and wounds. In case of minor cuts, the wound should be cleaned with soap and small pads of cotton dipped in Dettol or Savlon solution must be put there. If there is any bleeding from the wound, ice must be applied to stop the flow of blood. Next comes a deep cut. In case of deep cut, the wound should be cleaned first with a cotton dipped in antiseptic solution. Antiseptic solutions can be Dettol, Savlon, etc. Bleeding must be stopped by tying a bandage tightly around the affected area. This will slow down the flow of blood from the heart. Another way to reduce the bleeding is to apply a thick pad of cotton over the wound and press it with the thumb and fingers. You must have seen doctors doing that, or your mother or father, in case of your wounds. Next comes up nose bleeding. Children often face nose bleeding problem during summers. So what steps can be taken in first aid? Make sure the patient sit on a chair comfortably. Tilt his head back and ask him to keep his arm folded. Prepare an ice pack and keep that on the patient's nose. It will reduce the bleeding. Ask the patient to breathe through his mouth for some time. Do not allow him to blow the nose. Next comes up poisoning. Poisoning is very dangerous. A person can lose his life. Poisonous things must be kept away from the children. Expiry date of medicines must be checked properly. Wash fruits and vegetables before eating them because it contains insecticides, pesticides sprayed on them. Always keep away nail polish, naphthalene balls, etc. In case of poisoning, try to make the victim vomit. Rush the victim to the doctor. Next comes up animal bites. Animal bites can be very dangerous. The saliva of animals contains viruses. Some animals like dogs, cat, monkeys, wolves, etc. belong to. The viruses enter the victim body through the animal saliva when these animals bite someone, and they causes rabies to the victim. So it is very important to treat animal bites immediately. Wash the wound with the soap and water to wash away germs. Apply antiseptic to prevent infection. Rush to the doctor immediately. They must give you rabies infection. Follow some steps in case of snake bite. To stop the flow of blood to the heart and brain, apply a tight bandage above the bite. Keep the victim unmoved. Any kind of movement will cause the poison to spread faster in the victim's body. The victim should be immediately taken to the doctor. That's all, students, for this chapter. I hope you understood about the different kind of first aid in different kind of injuries. Do follow them and stay safe.